All right, I got you to the cart now. There's a couple things we got to do here. This plate, don't know if I like those mounting holes because they're really big. Might have to drill new ones, or maybe we'll just go with that. We'll see. This brake band, the 6-inch band, I don't think it's good for this size sprocket. Like, there's so much interference. Ouch. There's so much interference to the chain. Like, there's no way a chain's gonna run through that. So I'm going with the 4-inch band, and I may have to put some spacers here. We'll have to see. But this is not gonna work. So I got a 4-inch band coming my way and drum, and looking to get a rod. For this, I gotta figure out what to use for a rod. So that's what we got. We're gonna start with this this plate here. What I'd like to do is just get this assembly off, maybe take this off, see how things line up with that on just as it is, and if we have to take it off and flip it or turn it or do something to it, we'll do that. And I did this off camera, but the guy who had it on previous had this brake band on upside down, so it was actuating from underneath. I just flipped it just to see how that changes anything, and it changed nothing. It was still not good. So look at this. And it was all knackered anyway, so whatever. The scrap metal gods will take care of that. So now that that's that, let's get this drum off. So we're dealing just with the sprocket. I just want to get one wheel off the ground and see how that clutch works. That'll be interesting. And it's a Comet clutch, so those things, I think, like 60 bucks here in Canada, maybe a little more, 70. So I don't think the guy could put it back together who I got it off before. This is this big guy here. Maybe it's just turn off, or will I need to? It's got zerks in it, that's always good. Or if I can, will I have enough room? Yeah, I'll have enough room. Or no, wait, that's not a drum. Let's do it with the drum. Yeah, it should be good. Just space it off even with just some bolts, or some nuts rather. And if this overhangs at all, no, it doesn't. I'll have even more clearance. So that's something we can do. I could even add another washer as a spacer to the axle, and that'll give me even more. I put something there. Okay, I've tried several different combinations of spacers and washers and stuff, and determined that there's just no room on the thread. So I'm just gonna go with what we got for now. And if I run into any interference issues, I'll go with something else. So where we're at then is we are about to see how this motor mount will work for us. Okay, this guy here. So there's bolt holes there that I don't have the most confidence in. I don't like how they're so big, but let's see. I'm sure it'll fall right into place. Yeah, there is room. Are they? Yeah, they're a little off. Let me get a straight edge. That's where it's got to be. I might as well move it. I'd rather move it back than forward to make room for the seat, in case I want to move the seat back, because it's really cramped up there. But I don't know how much room I have to move it back. Tons of room to move it forward. Is that where we're doing it? Looks like that's where we landed. So no interference issues there. And once we get the smaller brake drum, that should help things too. So I will draw some holes. Hopefully I get them all right the first time. All right, so let's see how that went. So we got one here, 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 and here. Let's get a, well, I'm gonna call it a center punch. It's just an awl with a chisel tip. One, two. Huzzah. One. Two. Three. Four. Okay, I'm gonna do that 4 more times, or 3 more times. And once the holes are drilled, we will show up again. And we got our holes drilled. Let's see how our holes landed. I'd like to say 100%, but you know how it is. So there's our first one. Oh, the second one looks promising. Yep. Two. Okay, we're 3. Now I gotta find a 4th bolt. But more importantly, how does it line up? Do the holes reflect the square? Excuse me. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Awesome. I gotta find another bolt and we'll tighten this guy down and we'll put out the chain and lift the wheel off the floor and just see what it's like moving. Okay, let's see how this all lines up. Now, it's all bolted in. I got some number 35 chain, 30, whatever the chain is. And that Looks pretty good. Let me take some links out though. How much do we have to delink? So we need to remove that many. If I remember right, you file away the peening, push it through, and then attach the master link. It's this one here. I should be able to drive that out now. Shouldn't I? If I use a roll pin punch, that would be better. Yeah, I used a pin punch and that's working. So, hooray for me. Righto. Now, hopefully, my markings were accurate. I messed up, didn't I? Yeah, you did. But how badly? Is it recoverable? I don't think so. I guess those are going to be slotted holes now. I got to move this engine back just a touch to make up for the link too short I am. Because I have no spatial ability. Okay. You see what I did. I cut the chain, leaving this on one end, which is not good. And that's the proper end I need for the master link. So, yes. Love it. It's a mistake I'll only do once, I'm sure. Now, let's not kid ourselves. I'll do it a lot. I'm going to make those holes slotted. Damn it. Okay. Awesome. That'll need to move up. I need a bolt for that. I just realized it. I'll find something. I need a spacer too. With my luck, it's probably all stripped out. I'll see what we can find. So imagine my surprise when I saw this crankshaft threads were stripped. I wasn't surprised. But I am annoyed, but I can be annoyed. What's that? I'm gonna have to go up a size. That's garbage. So, should at least try tapping it before I start drilling it. Maybe it'll clean them up. We'll try it. The crazy thing is all this, it's my own fault for not inquiring more, but all this fellow would have had to say, he's a young kid, so who knows. Probably rubbing together 2 nickels to make a quarter. But he could have just said, I think the crank nut's stripped, you'll have to tap it. And then I would have said, cool. No change. But life's full of surprises, right? We're going to try tapping first. And then if we must, we'll drill it bigger. And we're twirling. Now the question is, will that do? It's holding on a clutch bolt, right? Yeah, I went in about a 1/2 inch for threads, so I think that'll be okay. I just got to find a bolt. This has to move forward though, so I'll have to slot those bolt holes I made. Or maybe add a tensioner. No, let's not do that. Let's move it forward. So hardware store, bolt holes. You got a kill switch. So I got a bolt for it. It's not precisely what I want, but with the spacer and that washer, that clutch won't be going anywhere. I also got our 4-inch brake drum. I managed to get some rods so that we can make a brake rod. But now there's too much slot in the chain. So we're going to put some slots in this guy. So I'm going to pull out that engine and you can watch me make those holes slotted. And then we'll move on to the front of the cart. Yes. Okay, so these are the holes I care about. I think I want to make them about 1 inch total. That should give me what I need. I got this. I know it's not a woodworking project, but it should work fine. And we are off. Are you kidding me? Pat. All right, let's see what other attachments we can break. All right. Cool. I'm going to grab this and get to work. Do you guys want to watch that for half an hour? I didn't think so. I'll be back once they're done. So for all you other masochists out there, that's what 4 slots in 1/4 inch steel by hand looks like. Anyway, we can finally put that behind us. Let's see if this chain wants to be at a proper tightness now. Chain. Is on. Now, let's move it forward. Moved. That's pretty good. And this clearance, that's where it's going. I'm going to bolt this thing in place. We're going to install the brake drum, the new 4-inch one, and caliper. And see how we're going to go about that. And the clutch seems to operate pretty good. Next, we'll get this guy stopping. So yeah, I just got basically the cheapest 4-inch drum I could find off Amazon. And we're going to see how it goes. I get the feeling that whoever started this project, they started and then probably a guy like me just didn't really know what he was doing. So I'm figuring this out as I go too. And then probably just life took over and he didn't want to correct the mistakes and stuff. And the guy I bought it off of got it. And then I got it. So it fits. Huzzah. And for the drum, I'm going to mount some stud, I guess, for it to hang off of. Drill a hole through the stud, I think. The other end of the caliper goes on the brake rod. Or band, I guess we'll call it, not caliper. Okay. So it's like this. Stud mounts there, and the brake rod, if it's the top of the cart here, the brake rod pulls at this and pinches it. That's how it stops. It's kind of like reverse drum brakes in a car. And hopefully the chain can clear all this. I think it can. And if it can't, we'll figure something out. I got my steering. I think I have all the parts I need to get this thing going. All in, I think a little over 200 bucks Canadian, I think. Which isn't too bad for a cart. And it's going to be an awesome one when I'm done. This is where the stud's going to mount. I got to mark that. And then the rod is going to pull right here. So stud there, rod here, because the tire is turning this way. Then you want this to pull in the same direction as the tire is turning. That way it'll kind of cinch up on itself. So that's where we're at. So if I can, or maybe if I even caught it, that might be better if I just weld the stud here. I get more like a lateral pull. instead of here, then I'd be pulling it like out almost. So I think I'm going to weld my stud on top of this plate. That'll be easier to mark too. So weld my stud here. And then I'll have to unbolt the engine. I don't want to blow myself up with the tank right there. Yeah. And then how does that look for chain action? So my rod will emanate somewhere from, will that even work? No, I'm going to have to bring it lower. It's bent. Does that mean anything? I can always bend the rod though, right? Yeah. So that'll work. So my rod emanates from about there. It'll have clearance on the clutch. And then the chain. So imagine it's like that. It's probably like just like breathing wet for some people, but for me, I don't really deal with chain-driven apparati too much, so I gotta always remember that the chain is a real thing that you have to account for. Okay, so there's that. Get our chain. This wouldn't have worked with the 6-inch drum. I'm reasonably certain about that. Anything interfere? Make sure I'm not doing anything dumb. So what I must do then is I gotta mark where the engine is, because I don't want the stud I'm drilling or welding to interfere. Then I gotta make sure this is a suitable length. And I can just cut this down. So I can do that right now. This is where the threads end. Yeah, where these threads end is where I cut it. Or it'd be better to cut the threads off and then I'm picking fly shit out of pepper now. Okay, where the threads end, I'm cutting it. That's how it's gonna be. So let's go to the vise, turn on the air compressor, and start cutting some stuff. Here, I'll pull you back a bit. Okay, it's loud, but we'll live. Yep. So I guess next we're unbolting the engine, grinding some crap off, and then laying down a couple beads. Okay. So I don't think that's gonna go anywhere. I think we'll be good. Let's keep moving. Next, without burning ourselves, we are going to see how this all comes together. I'm gonna drill that pin for a cotter pin. I just gotta drill the pin out. Hopefully I won't break a bit while doing it. Yeah. Well, we got our hole. And it would seem that's gonna work just fine. There. Okay, so that'll work. I guess the steering, the pedals, that's what we gotta get next. And that goofy steering setup we gotta sort out. It'll be fun.